Hi there, I'm Simon from Astro and welcome to another night sky guide for the month of December. We just finished up at the Scarborough Christmas market, Scarborough Sparkle, and we've had a really great time. We've met lots and lots of wonderful people. The month of December hosts the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. All the winter constellations are out to play, and we have the Geminid meteor shower to look out for, so there's plenty to look out for throughout December. So without further ado, let's dive in. Sunrise and sunset times throughout December will be as follows. On the 1st, the sun will rise at 8:02 am and set at 3:54 pm. On the 11th, the sun will rise at 8:15 am and set at 3:49 pm. On the 21st, the sun will rise at 8:23 am and set at 3:51 pm. And on the 31st, the sun will rise at 8:25 am and set at 3:59 pm. Moon phases now. The moon reached first quarter on the 28th of November and will start the month of December as a waxing gibbous. Full moon will be on the 4th, last quarter will be on the 11th, new moon will be on the 20th, and first quarter will be on the 27th. As usual, the moon will be paying some close visits to other celestial objects this month, and these meetings will be discussed in more detail in our highlights section. For all the aurora chasers, December hosts the longest and darkest nights of the year, and so darkness-wise, conditions are at their best for the Northern Lights. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for more great displays, and if you would like to be kept in the loop with regular updates and alerts for possible aurora displays, please follow our Facebook page. For Milky Way fanatics, the winter Milky Way is now easily visible in our skies, and for those accomplished photographers, there is also the chance to capture a west-facing Milky Way arch featuring all the winter constellations in the early morning. Onto general nighttime sights now. Looking towards the north throughout December, Perseus the Warrior, Camelopardalis the Giraffe and Queen Cassiopeia are high in the sky near the zenith in the middle of the night. The zodiacal constellation of Cancer, along with the faint constellations of Lynx and Leo Minor, are now fairly easy to spot, with Leo the Lion below them rising in the east. Ursa Major has now risen a little higher towards the northeast, with Draco the Dragon taking its place above the northern horizon, and Lyra the Harp, along with Cygnus the Swan, can be seen setting in the west. Looking south, all of the famous winter constellations, including Auriga, Taurus, Orion and Gemini, are now very easy to spot rising higher in the southeast, along with the lesser-known winter constellations of Canis Minor, Monoceros, Lepus and Canis Major rising below them. The brightest stars of these constellations create the famous asterism known as the winter circle or winter hexagon. It's a beautiful part of the winter skies that contains many interesting bright and colourful stars and some amazing deep sky objects. Above the southern horizon, the upper half of the long snaking constellation of Eridanus, the river can be seen along with the inconspicuous Fornax. The Great Square of Pegasus remains prominent but is slowly sinking towards the west. Andromeda, Triangulum and Aries remain well placed for observation, and although still fairly easy to see, the constellations of Pisces and Cetus are slowly following Aquarius, which has almost disappeared below the western horizon. General bright planet viewing now. Early December offers some great opportunities to view the often elusive planet Mercury, as the speedy planet reaches greatest western elongation on the 7th, after which the messenger will race back towards the Sun. Mercury starts the month in Libra before racing across Scorpius and Ophiuchus and ends the month in Sagittarius. This December will not be the best time to observe the super bright planet Venus, as the planet is located close by to the Sun and will continue to travel closer to the Sun throughout the month. If you want to observe Venus this month, your best chance will be at the start of the month. Just like Mercury, Venus starts the month in Libra before racing across Scorpius and Ophiuchus, ending the month in Sagittarius. Just like in November, the red planet Mars remains too close to the Sun to be observable throughout December. Mars starts the month in Ophiuchus and ends December in Sagittarius. The already great observing window for planet Jupiter continues to get even better throughout December, with the gas giant rising at 7 pm at the start of the month and rising at 4:43 pm at the end of the month. Jupiter remains in Gemini throughout December. Saturn remains well placed for observation at the start of the month, and particularly so for early night observers. However, as we get to the end of the month, Saturn's observation window begins to be compromised, with the ring planets only just beginning to appear close to the meridian during evening twilight. Saturn remains within the boundaries of Aquarius throughout December. Okay, let's begin looking at our highlights for the month of December. There's a great selection of celestial events this month, and kicking off the month will be the moon visiting the Pleiades star cluster. In the early morning of the 4th, the pretty much full 98% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will travel in front of some of the stars from the Pleiades open star cluster, which is also known as the Seven Sisters. Look towards the west between 3 and 5 AM to observe this partial occultation. The night of the 4th will host the full moon of December, which is quite appropriately known to some as the cold moon. Furthermore, due to the moon being near its closest distance to Earth, this December's full moon will also be what is known as a supermoon and will appear larger and brighter than usual too. Don't worry if you don't get to see the moon on the 4th, it will also appear full on the nights adjacent to the 4th too. On the evening of the 7th, the speedy and elusive planet Mercury will reach a point in its orbit known as greatest western elongation and will appear at its furthest distance away from the Sun. Greatest elongations are usually the best time to observe the inferior planets, and the mornings around the 7th will offer some great chances to observe the often elusive planet Mercury. Look towards the southeast just before sunrise for a chance to view Mercury. Also on the evening of the 7th, the 87% illuminated waning gibbous moon will appear close by to the bright planet Jupiter and the twins of Gemini, the bright stars Pollux and Castor. Early in the night, the moon, Jupiter and the twins of Gemini will form a letter L-like shape in the sky. Look towards the northeast at around 6:30ish to see this gathering rising above the horizon. On the morning of the 10th, the 66% illuminated waning gibbous moon will travel in front of the bright star Regulus of Leo. Look towards the southwest from 7 AM to observe this occultation. The early morning of the 14th hosts the peak of the Geminid meteor shower. The Geminid meteor shower is one of the most prolific and reliable of the annual meteor showers. The shower is active between the 3rd and the 20th of December, and under perfect conditions the shower can produce an amazing 150 meteors per hour. The radiant for the Geminids is well placed for Northern Hemisphere observers, and with the waning crescent moon rising at 2:29 AM, sky conditions are quite favourable for this year's Geminids. We can't wait for this spectacular meteor shower, and we recommend you head out for the Geminids too. For more information on the Geminids, please read our comprehensive Geminid meteor shower post on our Facebook page. Also on the morning of the 14th, the 27% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the bright star Spica of Virgo. Look towards the southeast in the early morning hours to view this pairing. On the morning of the 18th, an extremely thin 2% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the speedy and elusive planet Mercury. This will be a tough pairing to spot, requiring the aid of binoculars or a telescope to observe. And remember to always take care when observing close by to the Sun. On the 20th of December, the moon will reach its new phase, leaving the skies free from natural light pollution. This means the nights on and around the 20th will be ideal for viewing faint objects in the night sky and or taking photographs of the night sky. The day of the 21st will host the winter solstice. On this day, those of us in the northern hemisphere will experience the shortest day and the longest night of the year. Winter solstice also marks the start of astronomical winter. If you'd like to learn more about the winter solstice, please read our winter solstice Facebook post. The night of the 22nd will host the peak of the Ursid meteor shower. The Ursids are active between the 16th and 25th of December, and under perfect conditions, this meteor shower can produce up to 50 meteors per hour. With the moon setting just as darkness falls, conditions are favourable for this year's Ursids, and so we could be in for a good show of shooting stars. On the night of Christmas Eve, the 19% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear close by to the brightest star of Capricornus, Deneb Algidi. Look towards the southwest from darkness for a chance to observe this pairing. On the night of Boxing Day, the 39% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear close by to the amazing ring planet Saturn. Look to the southwest from darkness to observe this pairing. And our final highlight of the year will take place in the early evening of New Year's Eve, when the 89% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to the Pleiades open star cluster, which is also known as the Seven Sisters. Look to the east from darkness to observe this pairing. So that wraps up another month. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on our Facebook and Instagram. And as always, we wish you good luck and clear skies.